You know, I've been thinking a lot about solo travel lately. It's one of those things that seems to be glorified on social media, right? You scroll through Instagram, and it's like every other post is a picture of someone standing on a cliff, arms outstretched, with the sunset behind them. Their hair is blowing in the wind, and you can almost hear the soundtrack of their life playing in the background. It's beautiful, it's inspiring, and it makes you want to book a one-way ticket to somewhere exotic. But here's the thing. How much of that is real? And how much of it is just a carefully curated reel? Let's be honest. Social media has created this illusion of what solo travel is supposed to look like. It's like there's this unspoken rule that if you're traveling alone, you have to look effortlessly cool at all times. You have to be sipping coffee at a quaint cafe, reading a book, with a picturesque cityscape behind you. Or you're hiking up a mountain, and the only thing that's missing is a slow-motion shot of you triumphantly reaching the summit. But what about the reality of it? What about the moments when you're sitting alone in a restaurant, scrolling through your phone because you're not quite sure how to start a conversation with the waiter? Or when you get lost in a foreign city, and instead of feeling adventurous, you just feel anxious and a little bit scared? I mean, don't get me wrong. I love the idea of solo travel. The freedom, the spontaneity, the chance to explore the world on your own terms. But the truth is, it's not always glamorous. It's not always that Instagram perfect moment. It can be lonely. It can be overwhelming. And yet, we don't see that side of it online. We don't see the struggles, the doubts, the times when you just want to go home. Instead, we get this highlight reel that makes it seem like everyone else is having the time of their lives while we're stuck at home, scrolling through their adventures, feeling a little bit envious. And let's talk about the pressure that comes with that. There's this expectation that if you're traveling solo, you need to be living your best life at all times. You need to be posting about every little thing you do, sharing every breathtaking view, every delicious meal, every interesting person you meet. But what happens when you don't have anything to post? What if you're in a beautiful city, but feeling completely disconnected? Or what if you're just not in the mood to take photos? Suddenly, you start to feel like your experience isn't valid unless it's documented and shared. It's like we're constantly chasing this idea of what travel should be instead of just enjoying it for what it is. I remember my first solo trip. I was so excited, filled with dreams of adventure and self-discovery. I arrived at this beautiful destination, and the first thing I did was pull out my phone to take pictures. I wanted to capture every moment, but as I was snapping away, I realized I was missing out on actually experiencing it. I was so focused on getting the perfect shot for my feed that I wasn't really soaking in the atmosphere, the sounds, the smells. It was like I was living my trip through a screen instead of living it in real life. And then there's the comparison trap. You see someone else's solo travel photos, and suddenly you're questioning your own choices. Why didn't I go to that place? Why don't I look that happy? Am I doing it wrong? It's exhausting. It's like we're all competing for the title of Best Solo Traveler, and it's not even a real thing. But there's this pressure to keep up, to always be doing something more exciting, more adventurous, more Instagrammable. And in the process, we lose sight of what solo travel is really about. At its core, solo travel should be about exploration, self-reflection, and personal growth. It should be about stepping outside your comfort zone and discovering new things, not just about how many likes you can get on a post or how many followers you can gain. It's about the conversations you have with locals, the lessons you learn along the way, the moments of solitude that allow you to connect with yourself. Those moments can't be captured in a photo or condensed into a 15-second video. They're messy and complicated and often don't fit into the neat little boxes we create on social media. So, how do we navigate this social media trap? First, we need to remember that it's okay to not always be on. It's okay to have days where you don't feel like taking pictures or sharing your experiences. Those moments are just as valid as the ones you choose to share. Embrace the quiet times, the moments of reflection, and the times when you're just enjoying the world around you without the need to document it. We also need to be mindful of the content we consume. Follow accounts that inspire you, but also remind you of the realities of travel. Seek out stories that highlight the struggles, the vulnerabilities, and the authenticity of solo travel. Create a community that values genuine experiences over curated perfection. And most importantly, let's redefine what solo travel means for us individually. It's not about the likes or the followers. It's about the journey, the connection, and the growth. So the next time you find yourself scrolling through perfect travel photos, take a moment to remind yourself that behind every beautiful image is a real person with real experiences, both good and bad. Travel is not just about the destination, it's about the journey. And sometimes, the most meaningful moments are the ones that never make it to the feed.